Hey there, everyone. Welcome to CAEI Math, Unit 3, Percentages for 5th grade. My name is Diana Sayek, and I will be your teacher for the day. In this video, we will cover the following topics: vocabulary, review of fractions, percentage, finding percentages. We will review the vocabulary for each section of this unit. When we do this quick review, you will see the vocabulary word, the meaning of the word, a sentence using the word, a picture of the word. Let's get started. Percent, meaning the number of parts in 100. It can also be written as percent, one word. Sentence, percent is how many out of 100. Percentage, meaning the number of parts out of 100. Sentence, the symbol for percentage is, and you see it here. In the diagram here, we're showing 12%. 12% of the squares are colored green. So let's do a quick review on fractions because percentages are essentially fractions. So what is a fraction? A fraction is a part of something. We use it to show how many equal parts there are. So here we have this circle that has been divided into 2 equal parts. And the one part has been shaded yellow, or 1/2, one of the 2 parts. Here we have the circle again. It has been divided into 4 equal parts. And one of the parts is shaded yellow, or 1/4. And here we have, again, the circle, but this time 3 of the parts have been shaded, or 3 of the 4, 3/4. These are all fractions. So how do we write fractions? So we have a number above another number, and we have a line between those numbers. That top number is showing us how many parts we're talking about. In this case, we're talking about the yellow shaded area. The bottom number is telling us how many parts there are altogether. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 equal parts, and we are talking about this one shaded area, or 1 of 4. Multiplication of fractions by a whole number. This is also important when working with percentages. So here we have our fraction, 1/4, 1/4, and we're going to multiply it by 200. So you remember that it's the same as saying 200/4, and this is 200 divided by 4, which equals, you got it, 50. This is how we do multiplication of fractions with a whole number. So let's get started with percentages. So here we have a diagram, and it is showing us 25%. So what does that mean? It is saying that we have 25 is how many parts we are talking about, or the ones shaded in yellow. 10, 20, 5. And 100 are how many parts there are altogether. 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way down to 100. We have 100 total parts. So we have 25 parts that are being talked about out of 100 in total, or 25%. We have 25 parts out of 100 are shaded yellow. Let's take another example, 75%. So here, 75 are the amount of parts we're talking about, or the ones shaded red. 100 are the total amount we have here in this diagram. So we can say that 75% are shaded red, or 75 parts out of 100 are colored red. This is percentage. So now let's try ourselves to draw a diagram. So let's take a look. They're wanting us to draw a diagram of 10%. So what does this mean? Yes, 10 parts out of 100. So let's go ahead and write out our fraction. So 10 parts out of 100 is what we're talking about. So let's do those 100 squares. We had it here, 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way to 100. And 10 parts, here you go, is 10%. This is how we can represent 10% in a diagram. We can also simplify fractions to find out the percentages. So here we have a diagram that is showing us 50 squares are colored blue out of a total of 100. Well, 50 squares out of 100 altogether makes 50%. We can also find this and we can also simplify this fraction by dividing the top and bottom by 10, which equals 5. And then we can notice that 10 is divisible by 5, so we can go ahead and divide one more time by 5 to simplify our fraction, and we get 1/2, and we know that 1/2 is the same as 50%. Now, we have another example here. It says, write 1/10 as a percentage. So we know that 1 is how many parts we are talking about, the one shaded in blue, and 10 is the total parts. But wait a minute, we said that a percentage is when the total parts altogether are 100. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the inverse of the example before. We're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 10, and that gives us 100 at the bottom here. So again, now we see that we have 100 are the parts we have all together, and 10 are the parts we are talking about, which makes it 10%. So if we write 1/10 as a percentage, it gives us 10%. Finding percentages. We can find percentages of quantities, and this happens all the time in real life. What is 20% of 500? Well, let's see. First of all, we need to know that this of is telling us to multiply. So what we're actually doing is 20% multiply 500. So let's look at it carefully. Here we go. We write our fraction 20/100, that is 20%, and we're going to multiply by 500. Well, let's go ahead and simplify. So we divide by 10, top and bottom, which gives us 2/10. And then we can go ahead and simplify it some more. We divide by 2, and we get 1/5. And now we can do our multiplication. It's going to be much easier. 1/5 multiplied by 500 equals 500/5. And we know that that is a division. 500 divided by 5 equals, you got it, 100. So 20% of 500 equals 100. Let's do one more example. So we're asking now, what is 25% of 60? So what do we do first? Let's not forget that of is telling us we're going to do a multiplication. So we write out our fraction, which is 25, is what they're asking, over my total of 100 multiplied 60. So let's go and simplify. Well, we know this very well. We know that 100 is divisible by 25, so we just go ahead and quickly simplify our fraction to make it 1/4, and we're going to do 1/4 multiplied by 60, which is the same as saying 60/4. 60/4 is 60 divided by 4 equals 15. So 25% of 60 is 15. Great job today, kids. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you again next time. Bye-bye.